Friendly reminder, this is the scariest Chinese horror movie I have ever seen. The film is made up of 3 separate but connected stories called Headless, Heavy Hair, and Fragrance. Each story is very frightening. Watch it with your close friends if you dare. The movie starts in a very intense way. Late at night, on a highway, a car is speeding very fast. A woman inside the car suddenly feels dizzy and cannot control herself, so she sticks her head out of the window to vomit. In the very next second, her head is suddenly cut off and falls into a pile of garbage. Because it is very late at night, no one notices what happened, not even the driver of the car. While she is distracted, she suddenly hears a strange noise coming from the car. She quickly presses the brake, turns off the music, and looks through the rearview mirror. She sees that the road behind her is covered with garbage from the car. She does not even know when it fell out, so she gets out of the car to pick up the garbage. But when she is halfway done, she hears another strange sound behind her. When she turns around, she sees a strange woman lying in the garbage, as if she is searching for something. The driver asks her a question in surprise. But at that moment, she sees something she will never forget in her life. The woman has no head. Seeing the headless woman in front of her, the driver is so scared that she almost loses control. She quickly runs back to her car, presses the accelerator, and drives away fast. At the same time, Xiao Mei's ghost is holding her own head in her hands and floating quietly in the same place. Xiao Mei was hit and killed by a car. In this world, the people who feel the most pain are her parents and her former boyfriend, Awei. At this moment, even as a ghost, she still wants to see him. Awei works at a funeral home, so he is responsible for taking care of Xiao Mei's body. Later, Xiao Mei's younger sister and her fiancé come to the funeral home and bring her personal belongings. Among the items, there is a gift box. It brings back many memories for Awei. It is the love gift he once gave to Xiao Mei. He had promised her that after graduation, he would buy her a new one. But later, because of some problems, they lost contact and separated. Awei, who still cannot forget her, does not realize that Xiao Mei's ghost is floating in the air near him. After Awei leaves, the body suddenly begins to move by itself. Then it slowly places the head back onto the body. Soon after, the funeral home manager comes to check the morgue. At that moment, a strange noise suddenly comes from inside a cabinet. An ordinary person would run away in fear after seeing something like this, but the manager, Yi Shu, is experienced and brave. He says that the spirit officers have come to take the souls away. When the sound of a bell rings, Xiao Mei becomes scared. It is clear that she still has an unfinished wish and does not want to be taken away. Seeing her like this, Yishu feels sympathy. He kindly tells her that if she does not want to be taken away, she should quickly find a place to hide. After hearing this, Xiao Mei immediately runs into a room and crouches down quietly, not even daring to breathe loudly. The spirit officers see no one in the hallway and soon leave the place. Not long after, Xiao Mei's funeral takes place. Awei comes to the morgue to prepare her body for the final farewell. He does not know that the woman he misses so much is standing right behind him. As he carefully fixes a false head for her body, tears fall from his eyes. The real reason they broke up in the past was Xiao Mei's younger sister. She was jealous of how close Xiao Mei and Awei were, so she acted cleverly and separated the loving couple. When Xiao Mei was about to be taken for her funeral, she suddenly knelt down for no reason. No matter what happened, she could not stand up again. Seeing this, her younger sister immediately understood that this was her sister's revenge. She cried loudly and kept saying that she was wrong, begging her sister to forgive her. Watching her sister cry and truly regret her actions, Xiao Mei finally felt soft-hearted and forgave her. This strange scene also caught Awei's attention. Maybe because of his deep love for Xiao Mei. Even though he could not see or touch her, he could always feel that she was near him. That night, he took a paper ring and went up to the rooftop. He made his final confession of love to Xiao Mei. Then he set the paper ring on fire and threw it down from the tall building. He watched with his own eyes as it turned into ashes and disappeared into the night sky. Awei's eyes were full of tears, and it was this single tear that caused something magical to happen. The two of them were able to see each other again. Xiao Mei's last wish in life was finally fulfilled. She could now peacefully begin her journey to be reborn. However, the strange events inside the funeral home did not stop. Next, we continue with the second story, Planting the Cat. Besides Awei, Yishu also had a female student named Sister Cat. Even though she worked at the funeral home, she showed no respect for the dead. When preparing bodies for burial, she always wore headphones. Sometimes she even casually tapped other people on the shoulder without care. She did not take any warning seriously and believed that all of it was just superstition. She thought there were no such things as ghosts in this world. But as the old saying goes, you may not believe in something, but you should still respect it. One day, while going home, Sister Cat met a young girl named Xu Rong. Xu Rong looked very frightened, as if she had just seen something terrible. Although she was young, Xiurong was born with special eyes. She could see things that normal people could not see. Sometimes she could even become a vessel for spirits. Because of this ability, she chose to work in a shop that sold paper offerings. Late at night, her boss asked her to deliver goods, while the boss herself went out to play cards. A girl who can see spirits and walks alone at night is naturally more likely to face danger. After walking only a few steps, Xiurong suddenly felt a cold chill behind her, as if something was following her. She became scared and started to run. The footsteps behind her also became faster. When she suddenly stopped, the shadow behind her stopped as well. But when she turned around, there was nothing there. Everything was silent. She thought maybe she was just imagining things. But when she lowered her head and looked down, she saw two strange paper shoes, one black and one white. It was a very frightening sight. Xiurong was terrified. At that moment, Sister Cat greeted her. However, Xiurong did not dare to look directly at her. It was not because Sister Cat was beautiful, but because Xiurong could see that a ghost was already attached to her. At the same time, Xiurong's boss had already lost all her money at the card table. Even though she felt upset, she had no choice but to return. Later, she went to a roadside stall to eat a late-night meal. There, she overheard a couple talking about a money-attracting ritual called planting the cat. It was said that if you lock a living cat inside a coffin and let it scratch inside, it will bring great wealth and good fortune. But in the middle of the night, where could they find a cat? While the boss lady was feeling helpless, she suddenly saw a black cat at the street corner. This was the same stray cat that Xiurong had been feeding for a long time. But the boss lady did not care about that. She quickly took off her outer clothes and used them to catch the black cat. Then she brought it back to the shop. After that, she told her husband to bring a coffin. They locked the cat inside the coffin and sealed it tightly. Xiurong saw all of this while hiding nearby, but she was just a young girl with no power, and she could not save the cat. After the boss lady began worshipping the coffin with the cat inside, her luck suddenly changed at the card table. She started winning again, but she did not know what a terrible ending was waiting for her. Because of the black cat's death, Xiurong felt very guilty. Since she could not save the cat, she could only hold its bell late at night and cry in memory of it. While she was crying, the bell in her hand suddenly began to shake on its own. At this moment, Xiurong still had a human face, but her body was already taken over by the spirit of the dead cat. First, she tied the bell onto a doll. Then she cooked a rich dinner for the boss lady and her husband. After that, she quietly began making two small human-shaped dolls. Even when the boss called her to come and eat, she did not respond. At the beginning, the husband and wife were eating with enjoyment, but later, the husband felt that something was stuck in his throat. When he pulled it out, it was a long black hair. Seeing this, the boss lady also felt sick. She quickly drank some red wine to calm herself, but in the very next second, she spit out a mouthful of blood. Only then did they finally understand. Xiurong had not only cooked the cat into soup, but she had also put poison in the food. The two small dolls she made looked exactly like the husband and wife. She wanted to use the dolls to trap their souls. Then, she planned to burn them in fire so that they would never be reborn. The shadow reflected in the firelight looked exactly like the black cat they had killed. Although the husband and wife were now dead, evil in this world continues every single day. Next comes the story called Fragrance, and it will definitely give you chills. One day, Sister Cat finished work and went home as usual. While walking through a narrow alley, she suddenly tripped over something, but she did not pay much attention and simply picked up her things and left. When she reached home and searched for her keys, she suddenly found an extra mobile phone inside her bag. She thought she might have picked it up by mistake, so she did not care much about it. But when she opened the door, she saw colorful lights and a party-like scene inside. She thought someone had broken into her house, so she carefully looked around. Luckily, it was all planned by her friends. They knew it was her birthday, so they had decorated her house in advance. After that, Sister Cat went to take a shower to relax, while her friends started drinking and dancing. One of the boys suddenly asked, "Who is the girl standing at the door?" Another said, "Didn't she come with A Ying?" Someone replied, "I don't know her." Then they laughed and said, "It's okay, since our place is full of positive energy, let's invite her to join us." A girl went to invite the mysterious guest, but when she reached the door, she strangely found only a small cat there. The girl who had been standing in the corner had suddenly disappeared. Even after opening the door and looking outside, there was no one there. Seeing this strange situation, she was just about to return to her seat. After taking a shower, Cat's sister came out and was surprised to see that all the friends who had just celebrated her birthday had suddenly left without saying goodbye. She felt a little sad, but she did not think too much about it. At that moment, the phone she'd found suddenly received another text message. It looked like it was from the owner of the phone. Cat's sister decided to return the phone to the woman. However, the woman asked asked her to first help find a key. She said that only with that key could she go back home. Cat Sister thought that she was already going to return the phone, so finding a key would not be a big problem. So she agreed, but when she reached the meeting place, she found that there was no one there. She quickly sent a message to the woman. Instead of replying with text, the woman sent her a video. Following the instructions in the video, Cat's sister went to another location. Then the woman sent another video. Step by step, the woman guided her until she reached a remote shop. She felt scared, but she was even more curious. She wanted to know what was hidden in that place, so she went inside. She searched everywhere, but there seemed to be nothing unusual. The woman was not there either, but when she opened a cabinet, she saw a very horrifying scene. In front of her was the body of a woman. Cat's sister was extremely terrified. Before she could leave, she suddenly heard a noise outside the door. She quickly closed the cabinet and hid under a table. As the rolling door slowly opened, she saw a man. She immediately felt fear because she had seen this same man the previous night when she was going home. At that time, he had smiled at her and even invited her to come to his house. Now she realized that he was a sick serial killer looking for victims. Every woman he targeted was badly tortured. The woman who had been sending her messages was also one of his victims. Luckily, the previous night in the alley, Cat's sister had not stayed long. Otherwise, she would have been killed. After understanding everything, she quietly crawled out from under the table while the man was not paying attention, but by accident, she knocked over the table stand. Now she had no chance to run. The man blocked her immediately and slapped her to the ground. To stop her from escaping, he tied her hands with a rope. At that moment, Cat's sister noticed a key. It looked like the key the mysterious woman had asked her to find. She waited for the right moment and rushed forward to grab the key, but she did not realize that her legs had also been tied. She fell to the ground. The man, with no expression on his face, pulled the rope tighter. No matter how hard she pulled at the table, it was useless. Then the man pushed her down and tightly grabbed her neck with his hand. While struggling, Cat's sister pulled the key that was hanging around his neck with one hand, and with one kick, she hit him between his legs. Finally, she managed to free herself. At the moment she grabbed the key, the bag lying on the floor suddenly started moving by itself. As the bag slowly tightened, the man was lifted into the air. 3 ghostly shadows appeared behind him. They gently pulled, and in an instant, the man died on the spot. Soon after that, Cat's sister received another voice message from the woman. All right, that is the end of today's story. See you in the next episode.